Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have a major oopsie-daisy moment for Jason Tartick. I'm going to share the spoiler that he slipped in his recent podcast that gives away the ending of the season. But first, we'll do a quick preview of what's going on tonight's episode so you guys can get fed that way. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'll be on Patreon at noon Central Time, so chances are that as you're watching this video, you can go over at Patreon. There's this great new thing going on Patreon. I want to just show you guys right now. It's all of the different chat rooms you can have. So I've created all of these chat rooms for people to talk about all of the different things. Clayton Scandal, General Chat, Bachelor Joey Spoiler. I got all of them right here. Vanderpump. I even have a Housewives discussion. I don't even watch Housewives, but if my audience does. So a lot of people are enjoying the new chat features here on Patreon, which you can get for as little as $5 a month. Okay, either way, I appreciate everyone who's supporting the content. So Jason spoiled the ending. He flat out spoiled it. What that ending is, we'll share it in a second, but I'm just giving you the spoiler announcement in case you don't want. How come you spoiled it? You clicked on the video, not me. Here's the trailer for tonight's Hometowns episode.
This is a huge step in my relationships with all four women.
Hi.
Meeting someone's family is a very big deal.
How's it going? Hey, Joey. How you doing? Mark, nice to meet you.
When it comes to the women that I'm hoping to marry, I want to be a part of their family as much as they are a part of mine.
I definitely need my family's help to kind of help me figure out exactly what I'm feeling.
Nice to meet you.
When's the last time you brought someone home?
I've never brought anyone home. My dad is not gonna make it easy.
It's hard for me right now because I don't know where you stand. Maria's 100% daddy's girl. If she gets hurt, it would be a problem for Joey.
In a normal dating situation, ideally you would date one person. It's a scary process. As a father, I'm of course concerned with Kelsey.
The hardest thing for me is that there's also 3 other girls. Have you guys said I love you to each other?
She's told me that she is not able to express any feeling of falling in love.
This whole journey is non-traditional, but I want them to give that blessing for he and I to be together.
I care for your daughter and I'm not taking this lightly.
Yeah, it's just, I wish you the best.
Coming up tonight on The Bachelor. All right, well, I'm pumped. I don't know about you guys. I mean, gosh, you just love meeting these families because it's one thing for the contestants to be in on the cult. The families never are. Every dad's like, look, I've done the math. I know it doesn't work out. What do you want with my daughter, right? So anyway, looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. All right, well, let's go into it. Oh, that's Shane from Love is Blind. We'll have that on Bachelor Rush Hour this afternoon. Different story there. Here's a spoiler alert as posted by BachelorNation.scoop. Our good friend over there, Scoopy, posted the spoiler alert. I want to share the things they posted first. First, they shared this from Demois. Anonymous, please. Jason Tartick and Kat Stickler seen cozied up at Eden Rock St. Bart's. Oh. It's one thing to be cozying up on a business meeting somewhere in Chicago, but St. Bart's? We'll have to see what that leads to. Here is Kat Stickler. We say that because she is, I guess, going to be an upcoming guest on his podcast. So maybe they met podcasting the way Jason Tartick met Caitlin Bristow podcasting. Podcasting creates babies, and sometimes. Okay, so anyway, or not. So here's the next slide. Let's listen to the spoiler that Jason Tartick accidentally gives on his very big non-spoiler podcast. Have a listen.
Great episodes in the tank, David. A lot are coming. We have Dr. Shaw, who is number three U.S. skin influencer across all skincare influencers. And number 1 is Hailey Bieber. So any and all skin questions, the business behind it, and he's a legit doctor, you're going to get those answers. We have Kat Stickler, the famous TikToker, coming on. We have Colton Underwood that we're interviewing here soon. So we will have Joey and Kelsey from The Bachelor on. We have Jessica from Love is Blind coming on. So let me tell you, the queue of people
He
is
says
stacked.
we will have Joey and Kelsey from The Bachelor coming on. He said it as they're coming on together. If they just had Kelsey from The Bachelor, you might be like, well, which one? What could it be? First of all, Jason Tartick is now getting interviews with the winner. That's a very big deal, especially for his podcast, which is financially based. Like, what are they going? I mean, no offense to Joey, I'd love to know how much you make as a tennis pro, but that's not usually, like the real earning power for Joey will probably come later on when it comes down to, what he's making post Bachelor. But it makes sense because Jason Tartick and Joey have become friends, so that all makes sense. Now we do know Reality Steve's initial spoiler was that Daisy won. There's been a switcheroo in the last couple weeks. Switcheroo. And now he's got Kelsey, thanks to the work in part by Sand Between Her Toes for uncovering that Kelsey and Joey were spotted in a safe house visit. Here's an update on what Reality Steve had to say on his podcast today.
I started to get emails on and even see in my captions for the new spoiler was the fact that because of what Daisy does, it somehow has morphed into, oh, well, of course Joey ends up choosing Kelsey because he wanted to choose Daisy and Kelsey is just the default pick.
So what we know about Reality Steve's spoiler, which he's the only one to have reported on this, is that Daisy goes up to Kelsey and warns her, you're the one, it ain't me.
Of his. And from everything that I've heard, that's not the case at all. Daisy isn't saying, like, I know you're going to pick me, but I'm bolting. It's the opposite. She felt that he wasn't in love with her. He was in love with Kelsey. So this whole idea that, oh, no, the only reason he's with Kelsey is because Daisy bailed is not it. I know that's what some people want to think. And I know maybe that's what some people are hoping for. People that were dead set on Daisy being the winner. Not from everything I've heard. This is Daisy realizing he's not in love with her. So it's not a situation of like, ugh, what a jerk. He's not in love with me. I'm going to leave. It's just like, no, I see it. I wanted it to be me, of course. But it's not. What am I going to do? Force him to love me? And it's more along the lines of, no, he is in love with Kelsey. So people that are afraid this is going to be taken away from the Joey-Kelsey love story, I don't see that at all. And that's not anything that I've been told. I've been told that this is very Joey-Kelsey and this is the one he wanted. You know, I told you mid-season, or no, I didn't tell you until the end of the season when I put out the first spoiler, that ended up being wrong. Well, clearly it was also wrong that when I said at the time, I had heard in Spain that Daisy was the front runner. And I don't think that was the case, clearly. But that's why I always hear about a front runner every season, but I really don't ever say it because who cares who the front runner is? All you care about is who won, you know? If I'm ever hearing who the front runner is during the season, I don't ever say it. Because I don't want to. What's the point? I'd say it at the end of the season. If it matches up with the person who was picked, sure. I might even say it if it doesn't match up. I'll be like, yeah, so-and-so picked so-and-so. But earlier this season, yeah, I was hearing it was someone else. So that goes to show not to put too much stock into the front runner.
Now, Reality Steve, he doesn't even have to give a spoiler sort of warning because his whole content is spoiler based, which is great. The fact that people go to Jason Tartick's page and don't want the spoiler, that's going to annoy people. But at this point, I'm one of those, like, I don't know if it's like fatalist, but like I know I'm going to get spoiled. So even when it comes down to like, what was I watching recently? I was watching something on West Coast Time and someone spoiled me 2 hours before it was going to air. And I was so annoyed, but it's just one of those things. If you don't want to be spoiled, you got to stay offline. You really do. And yet at the same time, some people try really hard to stay unspoiled, but that ain't going to happen this year. And I know I'm talking to the wrong crowd because you guys clearly don't stay spoiled. Let's see if there's any updates as far as Joey going on a date, Kelsey's date.
Meeting someone's
that's not Kelsey's date. So I don't know if they're offering trailers on the specific hometown dates, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Kelsey, what her vibe is now that we know she's going to be the winner. Not to mention, let's go to Kelsey's page here on Instagram. Daisy had the higher amount of growth because everyone knew Daisy was going to be the winner. But now that Kelsey Anderson is going to be the winner, now that we've changed that, she's almost at 100,000 followers. So things have changed in the last few weeks, which, by the way, I love to see. I absolutely love to see a spoiler be wrong. I don't want to see Reality Steve be wrong, but I love it when there's more to the story than what we found out months ago. And I also think whenever the spoiler changes later in the season, it means more because we now know the characters. You remember when Clayton Echard was spoiled as being the next Bachelor before Michelle Young's season even started. So it was so hard for anyone to even care. It's more fun when we get it in the season. And we'll be live tonight, 7 p.m. East Coast, 6 p.m. Central for a live stream before tonight's episode if you want to join me for that. All right, folks, I'm off to Patreon. You can go catch me right there. Just scan this QR code if you want to join for free. For the paid version, you can join us on our daily behind-the-scenes live streams. We'll talk to you then. Bye, everybody.